Today's episode is sponsored by Tool, an LLC formation company. Form your LLC in under 5 minutes at startwithtool.com. Enjoy the show.
What's up, guys? It's your boy TJ, man, the host of Memphis Unheard, and I'm here with my boy Dennis Da Menace, the co-host of Memphis Unheard.
What's up, my people? What's up, brother,
What's
man?
going on, brothers?
You got it.
Hey, we decided to share with the people a little bit about us and our journey. So, starting out, if you first been on to share with the people a little bit about your journey as a kid, coming up, and and so on and so forth, and where you are now. And yeah, let's get into it. Let's jump
Okay,
into
that's gonna be an interesting
You
story.
hear me? Let's jump into it.
I'm gonna start from the beginning. Start
Okay.
with I grew up in North Memphis, Smoky City, Ayers and Kill. I was raised in a single family household by my mom's, but my grandma was there to assist my mom throughout my childhood. In a way, my grandmother raised me, come to think of it, because I spent more time with her than I did with my mama.
Right. Okay.
Like I said, I was born in North Memphis. I spent my whole entire life there. I I don't really know. Like it's my story got so many parts to it, so I don't really know where to start.
So were you
know,
were you born? Were you coming up in North Memphis? What part of North Memphis? Was it Smoky City?
it was Smoky City.
City.
Smoky City, and I stayed in Smoky City until I was about 10 years old, maybe. What happened was not my biological dad, but
Right.
the guy that raised me was my father type figure. He was locked up. He was in prison. The day that he got out of prison, he came to my grandmother's house, which is where I was staying. And somehow him and my mom reconnected. So they ended up getting married. And the first time that I moved out of Smoker City was with him. Him and my mom, as a couple, moved to East Memphis. This back before East Memphis was what it is today. Like back then, East Memphis was a lot more decent than it is now. Right. We stayed in East Memphis for I'd say about 3-4 years, which I attended Wooddale High School. I got kicked out of Wooddale for fighting. Ended up moving back to Smoky City. When I was in Smoky City this time, I moved in with my grandma because my mom was still staying in East Memphis with Big Dennis, which is my pop. That's when I say Smoky City started to raise me. When I moved back, I wasn't the same person that had left. Prior to leaving Smoky City, I say during my elementary years, I was bullied a lot. You know what I mean? I wasn't necessarily bullied like talked about, but the guys in the neighborhood was a little bit more rougher and tougher than I was. But I was a scrawny kid just like I am now. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I was kind of bullied a lot. But when I went to East Memphis, like I said, keeping Memphis, East Memphis then is not the East Memphis that it is now. East Memphis was a little bit more classier, I guess, to say back then.
Yeah.
I was coming from North Memphis, which was a rough part of town. I always have been. So even though I was kind of I don't want to use the word coward, but I was being bullied during elementary. When I went out to East Memphis, I was a little rougher than these guys were.
Right.
So I was treating them guys the way that I had been treated
the
way I had been treated in North Memphis. But that kind of made me, to be honest with you, that was a turning point in my life. Like, I know that sounds crazy, but that taught me, it took there ain't no other word for it but cowardness. They took the cowardness out of me. You know what I mean? Right. And made me a little stubborn, a little stern, a little, I might be small, but I feel like I'm Dennis Da Menace. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I'm just as bad as you is.
Right. So coming from the inner city, because you had the inner city, which was North Memphis at the time, Smoky City, then going from Smoky City to East Memphis.
East Memphis, right?
We stayed. Which was a little bit classy.
Right. It was a little bit back then. It was, like East Memphis just as rough as North Memphis now. And but then we ended up. I ended up moving back to East Memphis. Me and Big Dennis, he my pop, and I don't mean to call him Big Dennis, but people that know me, I have to differentiate because I got a couple of guys that I call pops. Right. So Pops and Moms had got into it. And back then, you know, we was young, you know, so anytime dad and mom get into it, we always choose mom's side, not knowing what the reasons was they were getting into it. So this one particular argument, Big Dennis and Mama had got into it, and I kind of disrespected Big Dennis, you know.
Right.
So he told me I had to, you know, he put me out basically, you know, as a child. He said I'm not going to be disrespecting him in his household.
And what age is that?
I was probably about 14 at that time, somewhere between 14 and 15.
Right.
You know what I mean? So when he kicked me out, I went back to Smoke City to stay with my grandmama. God rest her soul, she passed now. But I went back to stay with my grandmama. Now keep in mind, I come back to Smoke City, I ain't the same person as I was when I left.
Right.
You know, because I done went out there and I've been the guy out there. You understand what I'm saying? So I've been the guy out there. So been terrorized. You know what I mean? So I come back to Smoke City now. It ain't no terrorizing me no more. I'm different. You understand what I'm saying? I done got a little taste of the power. So now this probably was the biggest life changing point in my life when I came back to Smoke City. I started running with. It was this guy. Me and him was cool before I went to Smoke City. His name was Rushawn. Shout out to him. Like he me and him was best friends, or what I say, we were best friends at that time.
Right.
He was still in Smoke City. So I started running with Rushawn. Rushawn had been in Smoke City the whole time that I've been gone. So he wasn't the same Rushawn that, you know, like when I left.
Okay.
When I left, right. So me and Rushawn, we started. It was me, Rushawn, partner named Dion, shout out to Dion, Rushawn, brother Lamar, and partner named Wig. Shout out to Wig. We all ran together, like thicker than thieves, you know what I'm saying? Terrorizing the neighborhood. Like we was terrorizing the neighborhood, not in the sense of like robbing and stealing and stuff. We was tearing up abandoned houses and doing dumb stuff. Like, you know, doing like I remember this, like we did some crucial stuff too. I remember this one time, we used to run around the neighborhood and set animals on fire.
Oh man, that's crazy. Cruelty,
like, yeah, we used to, not, you know, when we was young, bro, we didn't know no better. Like, there was no way in the world I would do that today. You know what I'm saying? But we used to do dumb stuff. Like, I remember this one time, it was these, maybe 40, 50, 60 tires somebody had threw out on the side of the road. Well, not on the side of the road. They was in the alley. And we set them on fire. I don't know. I guess we was just some pyromaniacs. Like, we just love playing with fire. And we set them on fire. And it caused this big black cloud of smoke. You know what I'm saying? And the people in the neighborhood was panicking because they didn't know what the alley was. It was on the edge of Smoker City. It was what was the name? River City, behind the club, River City.
Right.
And so the people in the neighborhood was panicking. But when Miss Lottie, which is William Mama, found out that we had set the fire, William got, like, you know, a good discipline for that. You know, he took the whole rap for it though. Like, he never did say that we had anything to do with it or anything like that. But anyway, back to what I was originally saying. When I came back to Smoke City, I started running with Rushawn. Rushawn was different than well, not start. I was already running with him before I left. Me and him just linked back up, you know, like nothing ever happened or whatever. So he was a little different. I was a little different. We had guys in the neighborhood that we looked up to that was getting money, having money. You know what I mean? Right, so right. I'm 15 years old at this time. I was going to Herm Junior High. I'm just gonna be honest with you. You know, to let people know who and what where I come from. Right. When I was going to Herm Junior High, I didn't really have. Well, I say like the first couple of days. I don't really know how long it lasted. I didn't have the things that the people at the school was having. You understand? Like the clothes, the shoes. I remember beepers was out at this time. And I wanted all that. I wanted the beepers, the ropes, the clothes, the shoes. And I didn't have the money to start selling dope. Even though dope dealers was around, those days, you know, we could have easily sold dope for it. But I didn't have the money to sell the dope. But I had these, you know. And they became sticky. Right. You know what I'm saying? They became sticky. Right. So as I became sticky fingers, I was realizing, you know, I was started having the nice clothes and getting attention from the girls. And I was 15 years old. I bought my first car. I bought my first car from having sticky fingers. You understand what I'm saying? Not only did I buy my first car, but I bought a lot of a lot of the cats that was hanging around me, I bought. And you know what was crazy about it? A lot of this stuff, bro, I had forgot until recently when, like, I was get to having conversations with these people and they bring this stuff up to me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But a lot of they first cars or they first pair of shoes or they first piece of jewelry or they first gun or they first whatever, I provided them with it. You understand what I'm saying? Not in a sense.
You a hustle man.
Yeah, I was hustle man, you know, but I used to look out for everybody, man.
Right.
Like for a long time. And like right now, that's still part of my nature today, though. I'm still a provider. You understand?
Let's get into a little bit of that, man, because I know you used to look out for your sibling as well. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah. All right. Well, you know, my mom. Shout out to my mama. No disrespect to my mama, but my mama got locked up when I was about 14 or 15. Around
Right.
he was married to Big Dennis at the time. I ain't gonna put her business after the reason why she got locked up, but she was locked up for a few years.
Right.
So at that time, that mom was locked up. It was me, my 3 sisters, my oldest sister, which just passed, like within the last month. Shout out to Monique. She she had just had a baby, Samonique. Samonique's dad is Sam, which I owe Sam a lot of credit to because Sam also taught me a lot. It was a lot of street knowledge, but that knowledge empowered me to be who I am now. So shout out to Sambo. I owe him a lot. Like for real, I'm in debt to that guy. And I got a crazy story about him too. But all of us and my cousin Jason, my brother, well, he like a brother to me. His name Mike.
Right.
All of us was staying in the same household. Now I'm the oldest one. My grandmama was there too, but grandmama was a good 75, 80 years old, so it was like really not having no there.
Right.
So I was put in a position which I don't really feel like people, say that was a lot for a 15, 16-year-old to take on. At that time, I didn't know. I didn't know that I shouldn't be playing this role or I shouldn't be playing this position. I just felt like it is what it is. I got people I got to take care of. I got to survive, right? And everybody in the house had that same mentality. Like we all went in. It's not like we went into survival mode. We was already into survival mode. So it is what it was. Right. It is what it was. So for the time while my mama was locked up, probably played another crucial role in my life though. But I took her, which they give me credit. Half of the stuff I don't even remember, bro. But they give me credit to it or bring it up. But I took care of my sisters. Took her Samonique, which was my niece. It was me and Sambo. I ain't gonna take all the credit. Me and Sambo,
right?
Because Sambo taught me my hustle, which kind of took me to a whole nother level in life. You understand? Helped me take care of them. Right. I made sure everybody went to school. I made sure they all had clothes. I'm talking about, bro. Man, it's crazy, man. Like we had so many clothes, so much. Like everything you could think of besides food. Food, the only thing we didn't have. You know what I'm saying? But it's crazy because, man, it's crazy. But we had so much stuff. Nobody in the house had a job. Nobody in the house had income. But we had more stuff than you could think of. Like the only thing, like I'm gonna tell you, like we were so well maintained that the people on the outside didn't know we was in there by ourselves. Right, you understand what I'm saying? The rent and the light bill, I can't to this day tell you how that stuff was getting paid. Like we was not paying it. For 3 years, bro, we was not paying it. I never paid a light bill. I never paid rent. It was these people that knew my grandmother somehow. Gave me $150 a month Kroger credit. Now, I don't know if you can still do this or not, but you used to be able to call Kroger. Credit? Yeah, you used to be able to call Kroger and order food on the phone. This was before the internet, you know what I'm saying? You used to be able to call Kroger and order food on the phone. So every month, I had that $150 credit. I called Kroger and ordered the same thing because we weren't eating nothing but stupid stuff, whatever, noodles junk food, you know what I'm saying? So I called Kroger and ordered the food. But when it was time for food, we used to go out there and get it. The same way we get everything else. You know what I'm saying? We go, go somewhere and get nothing but the food. We don't get nothing but just the food. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Like go grocery shopping is what we used to call it for real. We used to call it go grocery shopping. and we'll go grocery shopping. You know, we did that for about 3 years, man. What happened was the next door neighbors, which was cool, they was like family. I had loaned one of the guys a piece of jewelry.
Right.
And I found out later that he pawned the jewelry. But he used to run with a gang. Okay. Sambo ran with a gang too, and they was different gangs. They were off. And so when he pawned the jewelry, he came over there and told me that, you know, he ain't had my jewelry or whatever. And I don't remember the exact words or exactly how it happened or whatever. But him and Sam ended up getting into it, and he ended up shooting Sam. Sam got paralyzed. All this happened right there in the front yard.
Dang.
Sam got paralyzed, and you know that what happened, you know. But after that, that's when everybody kind of started going their own way. You know what I'm saying? Like it kind of, I ain't gonna say shook us up a little bit, but it was kind of, it was a little devastating. I say that.
Yeah.
So we ended up, me, Monica, which is my sisters, me and my three sisters, Monique and Sam went back to Smoke City. Me, Monica, and Silla went back to Smoke City, but not the same house that Monique went to.
Okay,
yeah,
right.
we was all on the same street, Earls and Kill. So at this time when we came back to Smoke City, my grandmama, Vialis, had got sick and she was hospitalized.
Right.
Like she was in vegetation state. So granddad was at the hospital all the time. Like I'm talking about now I can't remember the exact time, but it might have been a period of 4 to 6 years. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna say at least 3 to 6 years.
Right.
That she was in the hospital. And granddad was there like he lived there. He was there full time. So granddad's house was wide open. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like wide open. Granddad's house was wide open. Boy, we took advantage of that. That was the funnest times in my life, man. I swear for God. We took advantage of it. That was when a lot of the smokers, the original smokers, my generation, the original Smoker City guys was locked up, you know, whatever they was doing. I probably was one of the only ones from Earls and Kill of my age group, my generation, that wasn't locked up.
Right.
And so it was a lot of young guys in Smoker City that they was from Smoker City, but not born and bred in Smoker.
Right.
You know, they was the only ones on Earls and Kill end. They was the only ones on the street because all the rest of them were locked up. So I started running with them guys, and that's how we formed Earls and Kill. It ain't no gang, it's just, you know, Earls and Kill. 2 streets they crossed.
Right.
And it used to be the hangout spot in North Memphis before, you know, my granddad had passed or whatever. And then all them folks started going their own way. But anyway, the Earls and Kill, I used to like these some young guys, you know. They when I say young, they like my little sisters, you know.
Okay.
So even though I ran with them, I didn't really run with them because they weren't really, you know, my age, you know what I mean? So I started running with cats from other parts of town.
Right.
And there's another guy named Pat P that I owe a lot of who I am to too. He kind of took me under his wing. Shout out to him. He kind of took me under his wing and taught me the game. Like we did things that was just a means to an end. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I became real good, like real good at it. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm talking about like I became real good at it, bro. Like I really couldn't see myself doing nothing else for a long time. I thought that was it. And it did, like I'm talking about I probably was about 18 years old at the time. I had like 5 cars parked at the house.
Right.
Everybody in my family had cars, clothes, shoes, jewelry. Like my cousin, JP, shout out to him. Wayne, shout out to him. They were with me all the time. And they'll tell you this. Like I was taking care of them. You understand? I ain't had no job then. You know, I was taking care of them. Awesome. We was staying in this rumor house. I don't remember the name of the street. It's in Smoker City over there about what used to be Big Star. We were staying in the room and having, it was like 6 of us in that one room. You know what I mean? We'd be up there, man, just whatever we were doing. But I was the bread one. You know what I'm saying? When it was time to go get the bread, I went out and got the bread. And P used to come scoop me up, take me to South Memphis. I'd be in South Memphis getting the bread.
Right.
Like I'm talking about, I not the man. Like I had got so good, bro, getting the bread to. I was nationally known for getting the bread without being nationally known.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? And that's my guy to this day, man. Like to this day, he just hit me up not too long ago, as a matter of fact.
Right.
But I owe a lot of who I am and what I am to him too. But anyway, fast forward the story because I'm not gonna go into too many details
Yeah. So
about
what? So I can ask this question then. So like, what was the turning point for you?
turning point.
Yeah, turning point.
All right, I had my first baby when I was 21. Shout out to Heaven. Shout out to Floanne. I had my first baby when I was 21, so that slowed my pimping down a little bit.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? But then in 2004, Wayne introduced me to his sister. I mean, to his girlfriend's sister.
Right.
Which that lady later on ended up becoming my wife.
Right.
She wasn't having all this stuff. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't really much so when we first got together. It's not that she wasn't really having it, because I think she used to be kind of excited about it, but she used to try to be a part of it.
Right.
And me not wanting her to be a part of it made me distance myself from it, because she was up under me all the time. So I didn't want to have her in those type of environments, those type of situations, or whatever. So I distanced myself from it. Now, it was hard, man. It ain't like I just cut it out like a light switch. You know what I'm saying? Like, it took me a minute. It took me a real minute. Like, I really, bro, probably just made a whole 360 turn a lot, because I'm gonna tell you, you played a big part in it too, because you was the first person that introduced me to God. Believe it or not, even though I was raised in my granddad, Reverend Watkins, shout out to him, was a pastor.
Real.
You know what I'm saying? But I wasn't looking for God at that time in my life. You know what I mean? I wasn't really looking for God when you introduced me to him, but the things me and you had going on, I had no choice but to to seek out God, because I was following you, and that's where you was going. Right. You understand what I'm saying? So I had no choice.
I know, right?
And it God Himself kind of kicked me off one train and put me on another train. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Those trains going in two different directions, man. So God, my child, and Pre is the main reason I'm still sitting here right now. Because I can guarantee you, bro, the road, like I would have been dead in jail 4-5 times, because one death wouldn't have been enough. You understand what I'm saying? Right. And it's a miracle, knock on wood, that I have never served a day in prison. Not saying that I ever did anything deserve to serve a day in prison. I'm just saying it's a miracle, because that's where most of us end up. And I credit God foremost, Pre, and Heaven to me being here right now. You understand what I'm saying? And you too. Like I said, you led me to God. Like, and if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have a relationship with God at all. Like I said, I wasn't trying to seek out God. It's not that I didn't believe in God, but God was just not part of my routine.
Right. You know. So saying that, since you mentioned me, when did we meet each other? And then, how long we been together, So.
Right. We met each other, bro. It was what, 1999, 2000, somewhere up in there. Like, we were working at Serial Logistics. Right. And I ain't gonna even lie to you, bro. We used to be me, Jerry. Shout out to my boy Jerry. Gabe. Shout out to. I'm gonna shout out to everybody, y'all. Gabe, my boy Gabe. Shout out to him.
Shout out to him.
Eric, Emmett. Shout out to y'all. We used to be on the racetrack.
Right.
We be over here on this side of the racetrack.
Shout out to KB.
Shout out to KB. We be on this side of the racetrack. You be over here on this side of the racetrack in a whole Holy Ghost form. You be over there having a whole little shouting section. I'm talking about just praying the Lord. We used to be over there dying laughing, bro. But, we was immature, man. We ain't know no better. We ain't know what we were laughing at. We ain't know who we were dealing with. You know what I'm saying? But once we got to know you, and realize the powers that supported you, it was no longer a laughing matter. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I believe all of us, because of you, all of us ended up getting some type of relationship with God.
Right.
But yeah, we met back in 1999, somewhere up in there, and we've been kicking it ever since. This 2024, that's 25 years ago. You know what I'm saying? So I wasn't traded for nothing in the world, man.
Traded for Nothing, bro.
For
So
nothing in the world.
God put us together, and we've been kicking it.
Been kicking it
ever since. I'm talking about. You remember? I'm gonna go off track a little bit. You remember when Will, which is better known as Pastor Will now,
Right,
used
right.
to have the prayer meetings over in
the corner, yeah, right.
Yeah,
Oh, wait.
in the truck. It started over in the truck.
In the truck, though.
Inside
Yeah,
the truck.
yep.
Yeah, man. It used to be lit. So that man, that was a time right there.
Right.
So it was a time. I think it was a time for all of series because we became a tight knit group.
We did, and most of us still kicking it right now with each other.
Yeah, to this day, man. I believe it was a whole God thing, and I was all young and trying to figure out some things, taking care of our families and stuff like that, and trying to come out of different situations and stuff like that. So I want to jump into this right here real quick, man. So when did because we've been entrepreneurs, man, and kicking it for
a long time. Bro.
So when did we
man, you probably don't even remember our first business. It was me, you, and Jerry. We had Mr. Shine.
Yep, Mr. Shine.
Remember Mr. Shine? But we had got us an account. Remember we had put our suits on, got us a briefcase. Went downtown to the what the name of them apartment was? I don't remember the name of the apartment. The exchange building. The show was. And we had went down there, got us an account, and we went down there. Clean some apartments. Like we got to count one day. Yep. They told us come back clean some apartments. The next day, look, we ain't had no employees. So we went down there to clean them apartments. Boy, we said this ain't it. We're not gonna be able to do this one. So that was the end of Mr. Shine. Right. Like that.
It's Megas in the refrigerator.
Right, everything, bro. I'm talking about. It took. Remember, we was down there cleaning them apartments for so long. The manager came checked on us like, y'all all right? Right. You know what I'm talking about? It took us too long. We didn't know what we were doing. But anyway, that was our first one.
Yep.
Then when everybody kind of went their separate ways, that's serious fault, no fault of our own.
Most definitely.
Me and you, we stuck together and we did resale wireless.
Right.
No, that was our first brick and mortar business. We started out right here at 5373 Summer. Good building. I'm gonna tell you. Can I tell you a quick story how we got that building?
Yeah.
All right, we had $1,600, right? And we were going down Summer. We were gonna start a cell phone company. We was going down Summer, as a matter of fact. We just out of nowhere. You know what happened? We had looked over. And the people, this when cell phones weren't what they is now. Everybody didn't have one. You know what I'm saying? We looked over and the lady in the car next to us was on the cell phone. So we were like, we're gonna start a cell phone company. The same conversation, same strip. The little building that was over there, we called the landlord. Went hollered at the landlord, man. God blessed us to get the building that day with zero money down, and we had 3 months free. So we still had our whole $1,600. Right. You know what I'm saying? So then, we had to get inventory and display cases and stuff. We was peons. We ain't know nothing about marketing and all that type of stuff.
None of that.
But we had to get inventory. We just believed if you build it, they would come. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So we had to get inventory and display cases and all that stuff. So we was going down going down Parkway, and we seen the wholesale wireless place. We went in there. They told us they had a $300 minimum or whatever, and the guy kind of walked us through what all was hot at that time and what all was not.
Right.
So we spent just $300 minimum because we ain't had that much money.
Right.
We only spent $300 minimum on on the accessories, which was like the phone charger, little cases. Them no-kill phones, them long no-kill phones. Yep. It was out. So cases just used to snap on or whatever. So we got that. We needed display cases. Me and you was coming up with Ma. Y'all, you probably don't even remember. We was coming up with Ma. We was in a Bronco. And what's the name? I don't remember the name of the business, but they was sitting a display case out on the curb.
Right, I remember that.
They was sitting that joint out on the curb.
Yeah.
We instantly swoop in.
Right.
We needed that. We needed that. But then they gave us the bright idea. Now, I'm finna tell you something. They gave us the bright idea that if we got that out the garbage, we can get a lot of stuff out the garbage. We can get a lot of stuff. Stuff on cheese and crackers. Look, we ended up getting another display case, the carpet, the slot wall, everything, the signs, everything in the store besides the inventory and the cash register came out the trash can. I'm telling the truth, I swear for God.
Yep.
We repurposed it. Everything. Even the signs on the wall that said that, well, now they ain't say our name. They said something else. but it was an advertisement, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. We got all that at the trash can. And so now we got the displays, the carpet, the sign. We got a whole store. And we got accessories. We ain't number $300 in. So we still got like $900 left. You know what I'm saying? And then I'm tell you how cold we is. So what we did was we started asking people around the neighborhood. My eyes keep running. Our family members and stuff.
Right.
For their old cell phone.
Yep.
They old cell phone. Because back then, you used to pop the SIM cards out, SIM card in, and, you know, it's kind of like what you can do now, but they ain't have all the phones locked up and all that type of stuff. Right. Like they do now. Yeah, it wasn't no carrier lock and stuff. So as long as the phone wasn't reported stolen, you can activate it.
Right.
But anyway, so we got all our phones from donations. You know what I'm saying? All of them, for every phone we had the day we opened up, we got it from a donation. So we still ain't number $300 in. Right. You know what I'm saying? And then the cash register was the only thing we paid for. And actually, it was donated by my auntie Shondell. You know, remember? Shout out to Shondell. It was donated. So we had us a whole store. And we took the rest of the money and threw a grand opening. You don't remember my mom and them was out there with the cell phone costume on and stuff? Yeah, they was out there with the cell phone costume on. But we opened up a whole cell phone store, really for $300, but for $1,500, well, less than $1,500. And I'm gonna tell you how God is. We was in that location for about 3 months, booming, and we were doing good, doing so good that we moved out of that location to a bigger location.
Right.
That was $1,700 a month. This was back in 2004 now.
Right.
Was $1,700 a month, and everything in the store was brand new. You know, because we had did just that well in them 3 months. With the cell phone store we started at the garbage can.
Man, that was our second business.
That was our second business.
We're gonna wrap it up though, but we went from Mr. Shine to the wild business. And then to what we doing. Did we have another one before?
Let me see. We did Labortron. Yeah, what we had before? I'm pretty sure. We remember we was photographers.
Yeah.
We were photographers. We did that. I don't remember the name of what the company was, but we did photography. We had chicken wings. We had chicken wing spot. We had chicken wing spot.
Chicken wing spot
right next to our cell phone place. We did that, and that was expensive too. You know, and then you know what? All this really stemmed from the little cell phone place on Summer. You know what I'm saying? Like all that really stemmed from that.
So, man, shout out to all entrepreneurs, man. Hey, for real, like if you want to be an entrepreneur, if you are an entrepreneur having a hard time, I would say, man, don't quit. Don't give up on your dreams, your aspirations. You know, you got to keep going. You have to keep reinventing yourself. Do not stop. Do not pause. You know what I'm saying? When it comes down to entrepreneurship, you got to have tough skin.
Right. Go ahead.
Go ahead, bro.
And I want entrepreneurs to understand the difference between an entrepreneur and a hustler.
Right.
A hustler, if you used to that fast money, you can't really. Your entrepreneurship ain't made for you. Entrepreneurship, you got to be patient, take your time, and build something. Because what you're trying to do is build something that's gonna work yourself out of the job. You don't want to just start a business to where you have to be an employee, because all you did is created yourself a job. You're really not a business owner. You just a self-employed person.
Right.
But as an entrepreneur, you want to create a business to where you don't have to show up and your money still grow up. You know, so.
Right, most definitely. And just share a little bit right now about for the next 5-10 minutes or whatever, about where we are now, where you are now, and you know, as it relates to business and everything.
Ooh, man, I'm talking about I can't do nothing but say I'm blessed, bro. Like there is no other words for it, man. Like I've been fortunate to not. The last job I had was serious.
Right.
I worked at Mallory Alexander and
for a hot minute.
Yep, and what was the name of the other company? Boy, that was the hardest job I ever had. I want where Pet had got me on. I want to forget that one. I'm talking about that one. The one gave me these guns. Like, they worked me like a Hebrew up in there. But them the only two jobs. That's been 10, 15 years ago.
Right. Syria was the last one I had.
Syria was the last one you had.
Last one I had. Clock in.
I don't know. You know what? To be honest, I don't remember what happened with Sears. But it was something company wise, like Sears was going through financial money or whatever, financial crisis. But I believe I probably would have still been there and retired from Sears.
Sears had took a turn for the worse. So, you know what I'm saying? Some people that had been there for 30, 40 years.
And I was there for like 10, 11 years. You know
so they started with the people there first. They would have getting severance pay and getting laid off and stuff like that. So they got down to the people that's been there 10, 11 years, such as ourselves.
Right.
And they laid us off.
Right.
Like I said, they had took a turn for the worse. So that's what it was. It was just a company.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Well, so I'm glad. Well, I am glad that I'm serious. I don't wish that on y'all, but if it wouldn't have happened, I wouldn't have been where I'm at. Right. So, you know, for my sake, I'm glad it happened.
Right. Mine as well.
Right. But you know, like since then, man, like I done had a lot of businesses. I done had a lot of businesses that done taught me lessons. You know, like I don't believe I have had one single business that failed. Because from every business I had, I learned something I didn't know before I had that business. Now, some of those lessons were expensive, but still, you know, the return on those lessons have been great.
Right.
So I don't look at any business as, and then you know what? To be honest, I haven't had a business that failed because every business I had maintained me. It took care of me.
Right.
I usually it just something happens and you know life circumstances for most of them, and you know I'm on to the next thing. You know,
entrepreneurship.
Yeah, I haven't had anything that failed. You haven't had anything that failed. There's not an entrepreneur that hasn't had a business to fail. If your business is not successful, just go back to the drawing board and figure out what issues you have. Right. Fix those issues and keep it pushing. You understand? The first thing we have to do is get people around us that have a like mind. You will never be successful with unsuccessful people. And what makes a person unsuccessful is they train of thought, they mind frame. Some people already fail before they even start. Some people already fail, you know, they just gonna fail. Like you just got to make sure you're around people that thinks like you and people that want to see you do good.
Right.
Because if the person do not want to see you succeed, they're gonna be bad. It's gonna always be somebody behind you pulling you like this right here. And you will never get nowhere like that. Like just make sure you just put the right people in your circle. Keep the right people in your circle.
Most definitely. So let them know real quick what you got going on now.
Oh man, we got a lot going on right now. I'm gonna name out a few businesses. We got HJ Zoom Logistics, which is a trucking company. We specialize in dispatching box trucks, cargo vans, transit vans, sprinter vans. We also able to pull those box truck loads for you. We have Gigs, Professional Employment Staffing Agency, which it's a staffing agency. Like it's we've been doing this forever. You know, I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all done heard about that one. Of course, we got Memphis Unheard. We got Leading Lights, which is our nonprofit organization. What we like to do, Leading Lights. We believe in entrepreneurship. One of Leading Lights' main focus is raising young entrepreneurs. As a matter of fact, what we're going to do before the year 2024 is over with, we're going to give 50 people under 50, right? 50 people under the age of 17 LLC. And not only are we going to give them an LLC, but we're going to form their LLC form. We're going to set up their business credit profile. We're going to teach them about business. We're going to teach them about credit. We're going to teach them about personal credit. We're going to teach them how to run, operate, and own a business. We're going to make sure that whatever business it is that they're operating or want to operate will be operating under regulations. We're going to train them from the beginning to the end on each one of those steps. We're not just going to give them business credit and be like, here, go do what you want to go do what you do. We're going to train them on how to use business credit, how to manage their business credit, not just their business credit, but their personal credit as well. We're not going to give them a business and not teach them how to own and operate and run a business. They're going to get all of that knowledge. They're going to walk away with the LLC form, with a website for their business, the business credit profile complete, and all that training.
So,
all right, there's 50 people, 50 teenage young people under the age of 17. You know what I mean? And we'll have all the information later on how to get signed up for that. So y'all make sure y'all stay tuned to Memphis Unheard. We're in partnership with Tulip, which is a LLC formation company. So we can start your LLC for you. We can get your DOT number for you. What else we got out there? We got Grouper, which is an insurance company. What else we got?
So we're gonna also be teaching it. We're gonna be teaching content. People,
Content creation, right?
Content creation. Yeah,
right.
We got somebody that's gonna be coming on the show. That's fine. That's all she do is content. She's full-time content creator. She has made a living. I'm talking about that's all she do. She's an entrepreneur. She don't clock in for nobody. That's all she do is just packages come to her home, her office, from everywhere, from different companies and everything else. So we've been afforded the opportunity to come alongside her and teach people, whether it's young or older people or middle-aged people who want to learn how to be a content creator, to learn how to do that as well. So y'all be looking out for that. So,
right.
Yeah.
And we also got a dispatching class. It's very, very, very affordable. Right. We give you broker lists. We also, if you taking the class to start your own dispatching business, we assist you with forming your LLC. We walk you through the business credit process and stuff again. Like, we are very strong when it comes to entrepreneurship. So we don't just give you something and not teach you how to maintain it or run it. You understand what I mean? So that's something that you might want to take into consideration. Sure. What else we got?
Well, that's a lot.
That's a lot. And I'm pretty sure we're forgetting something.
We're forgetting something. I'm glad you mentioned that because I'm excited about helping the youngsters and just helping people in general.
Right.
Because a lot of people want to learn how to do content. They want to learn how to have their own business. Want to learn how to operate the right way. Want to learn how to build their business credit before they can live off the business side of things, not their own personal credit.
Right.
That's important, guys. When y'all are entrepreneurs, it's important to be able to live off your company's name, not your name.
With no personal liability.
With no personal liability. So we want to get into that. And that alone is, something that I believe that every entrepreneur should plug into. So be looking out for that, because once we start this class, man, we're gonna hit the ball rolling.
Hit the ball rolling.
So we're gonna make it a slam dunk for sure. So
for sure.
I appreciate it, Dennis, my co-host, Memphis Unheard, man.
Yes, sir.
Coming on the show, man, sharing this story. We got into some us type stuff.
Right.
So, but hey, it's all good, man. We want y'all to know us on a personal level, man, as we continue to grow Memphis Unheard, man, to go beyond this right here. So, hey, look out for us. We're gonna holla.
Holla.